talking about 10 things you need to stockpile before March 1st, 2025. The first one is chocolate chips. Can you live without chocolate chips?
No. Actually, I'd probably be better off if I did for a little while.
So chocolate chips will probably be affected. The other thing is stop pinching my buns. I felt that. The other thing is cocoa powder will probably also be affected. Now, why are we talking about this? Because President Trump has already put tariffs on Mexico and Canada. So he has said that he is going to put off the tariffs until March 1st. But if Mexico and Canada don't get their acts together and start stopping some of these people from coming over our borders, he's going to put them into effect. So you should probably be ready anyway. Now.
Well, and the thing is that may not happen. It may be that they come to an agreement and all that, but it's always smart to be prepared.
When you hear things that are starting to happen.
We are going to give you our Dining on a Dime cookbook ebook, volume number 1, free at livingonadime.com. Click on our shop, click on our ebooks, click on Dining on a Dime volume 1, add it to your cart. When you go to checkout, use the coupon code DINING1 and you will get our ebook absolutely free with no obligation and no strings attached. Visit us at livingonadime.com.
Now I'm going to talk about something else that's happening here in just a minute when I get through a couple more of these foods. The next one is olive oil. Oh my goodness, olive oil has tripled at my store. I could not believe it. Bell peppers. If you like your bell peppers, you want your fajitas.
But these aren't from the tariffs yet, right? Or
No, this is what I'm saying, March 1st.
Yeah.
So if you find a good sale on bell peppers, any of these things, stock up if you find a good sale. You can freeze bell peppers. They're super easy to freeze. The next thing is frozen berries will be affected. Maple syrup will be affected from Canada.
Real maple syrup.
Real maple syrup. Guys, just eat the cheap stuff. It's fine. Real maple syrup is gross anyway. So, yes, I said that. I don't like maple syrup. Cereal will also be affected. Coffee, seasonings, all your seasonings could be affected, and nuts are the other things that are affected. Why are we stocking up and what's the big deal with the tariffs? On March 1st, 2025, President Trump said that he is going to put in the tariffs they're already in place, but he's put them on hold until March 1st, 2025 to see if Canada and Mexico will get their acting gear and help stop the flow of drugs and illegal immigrants into our country.
They're not immigrants if they're terrorists from other countries that are sneaking through those places.
And they're not immigrants if they are trafficking children and women. This is what makes me so angry. We know a lot of immigrants in our life. A lot. As a matter of fact, when I was thinking about it, I was like, holy cow, we have a lot of people. They came here legally, spent tens of thousands of dollars. One person, it was $15,000 for each of their family members. Years getting their immigration. I am okay with immigrants. I am not okay with illegal immigrants coming over here and harming people in the United States.
Well, especially since the people that are being deported now are from like massive criminal gangs. And those dumb celebrities in Hollywood that are whining and complaining and, oh, my people over there. You're advocating for child traffickers.
Yeah, child abuse.
You're advocating for people that kidnap children and sell them for perverse purposes for evil people.
And you are
Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Do you want is that the thing that you think is good for those children and women? No.
You are just as disgusting as they are.
You're advocating for fentanyl and other drugs that are killing kids in schools. And everyone's looking to the side to pretend like it's not happening. And when you're whining and complaining about that, they're not coming and dragging children out of school and making them leave the country. They're taking like the worst of the worst criminals right now.
And if they pick up a few people along the way while they're doing it that are still illegal.
But if you look at the number of people that they say they would like to deport every day, the total number of people in 4 years is not even a fraction of the total number of people that are here. So it's a complete lie for the political benefit of a bunch of ridiculous, idiotic people. It's a complete lie that they're going to get rid of, they're just going to drag children out of school and separate families and all that. No, there's not enough, even if they did everything they want to do, it would be just a tiny fraction of people. And you know, they're not going to target children and women. They're going to target people that are causing massive disasters.
But if
Human
families
traffickers
get
and
caught-
drug dealers and evil people.
Yeah.
Now, if you're protecting those people, then you might be associated
Yeah.
with them, and then you might have to go.
Now, the other thing is that who knows where our country is going to be going. I was just watching a video right before filming this, and the Department of Education had their doors blocked from senators coming in and talking to them. And from the video, it's from what I understand, there was like 100 of them. Well, these people were sitting there putting this poor security guard's face, telling his name now, so that they can threaten him and bully him into doing this. These people are nothing but a bunch of bullies.
The people that have signs in their yard or whatever that say, kindness matters, kindness counts. What is that word that's not diversity, the thing that's on people's bumper stickers? Coexist.
Yeah.
Let's coexist with everyone, except let's put this innocent security guard here on camera so that we can send people to his house to threaten to kill him and his family. Come on. That's ridiculous.
Now, the Department of Education needs to just be scrapped. National Education Association needs to be completely scrapped. I have spent 20 years fighting the school systems, and it's nothing but a bunch of bullies who refuse to actually teach our children anything. I know there are a few good teachers out there, but let me tell you, 20 years and 5 kids in public schools, I can literally count 5 out of the probably 150 teachers they had that were actually good teachers who really cared.
Well, the issue with the whole
With the
department,
exception of right now. But
the issue with the Department of Education, and first of all, for everyone saying, I didn't vote for that, we didn't vote for that. Well,
you didn't, but I did.
Stinks to be you. But this is what happens when you are on the losing side of an election. All these years, you've been complaining about people saying that the election didn't turn out the way it legally was supposed to have turned out in the past. And now you're basically saying the same thing, but you're doing different words so that you can protect yourself from the things that you've been saying up to now.
Yeah.
And the problem is, kids will not be uneducated because the Department of Education is being forced to stop indoctrinating kids.
There's a simple solution to this.
Well,
Cut it all. Give every parent in the United States $7,000 to educate their child. If they have special needs, they can get $14,000 to $16,000. That is the amount that it costs to educate a child in this country.
But the language that they're using to try to get basically the uneducated masses to jump up and down and say, oh, the kids aren't going to get educated. That's the language they're using. But if you're falling for that, you need to use your brain. This isn't going to stop education. What this is going to do, if they were,
schools
well, first of all, I don't know that they're going to get rid of it. I think it would be great if they did, but I'm not sure that's what's going to happen. But if that were to happen, what that would mean is your cities and states would be able to decide what educational material is used to teach your kids. So it's not that they're not going to be educated, it's that you in your local area would be able to decide. And so if you like all the crazy whack job stuff that the Department of Education is forcing people in all the states to do,
use your voucher to go to those schools.
No, you and your people in your state and city who all agree on that, you can make a law that in your state, they're going to teach the crazy stuff.
No, but here's the thing. If they did a voucher system, all those people who want this ridiculous indoctrination, they can just pay for their schools to pay for that.
No, but what I'm saying is the people that want the ridiculous thing, they don't want the voucher system.
I know,
so
because they don't want to be responsible.
Right,
they
but
don't
if
want
you
the
live
schools
in a
to be
place
responsible.
where you don't want the vouchers, probably all the other voters in your place don't either. So guess what? This would give you the opportunity in your own state to vote on whatever you want. But the problem with the Department of Education the way it is that it is forcing other people to do the political will of the people who are controlling it. And I remember when I was in college, I had a lot of friends who probably wouldn't have voted for Trump now. And those people were always saying, well, we don't want the government telling us what to do. But the problem is, those are the very same people that right now want the government to force people like us to have our kids in schools where they have to learn the most ridiculous things that kids should not be learning instead of actually educating them.
Where my daughter can't safely go into a bathroom.
And so if you like those things, fine, do that in your state. But you shouldn't have the ability to have the federal government at the threat of the army coming, basically, and forcing other states to teach this ridiculous nonsense. Like, I was just talking to some people about school, and we live in a very conservative state, but because of the federal regulations and the federal programs, they're teaching some really bizarre stuff that's absolutely destroying kids. And that's, if you don't see that, I don't know. The thing is, when you see people go and they say, oh, let's be about kindness, let's be about civility, but then they're going and trying to find some low-level employee at a place and finding his name so they can put it on the internet, which is illegal, by the way, so that they can send people to threaten to hurt him at his home and his family, that is not kindness. And if you don't see that, you're completely ridiculous. But you just need to think in your brain, okay, wait, I agree that it's not kind for this thing to happen. But if somebody else that I agree with is also advocating for that thing, I need to be consistent with myself and agree that also is not kind. So when these people are, to me, it's just driving me crazy, the whole, we didn't vote for that. Well, no stuff, Sherlock. The thing is, people don't agree with you. And it doesn't matter if you have this opinion. In our country,
You didn't win.
Yeah, in our country, when somebody wins, especially when they win by a landslide, then you just have to suck it up and go for it, or move to another country if you don't like it. But the thing is, and people will say, a lot of people there's all kinds of lies out there. And if you're just believing those things, you need to stop and use your brain for a minute, because people are saying, well, it was only a small percentage. That's not a landslide. Well, actually, in the United States, that is a landslide. And there hasn't been a landslide like that since 1980. So that's a very long time.
Well,
so
let's
it means
see. Wait,
that the
that
people...
came right after President Carter, and there's some similarities here, isn't there?
Yeah, wow. Have to figure out which of them is the worst president of all time. I don't know. But anyway, but the thing is that if you are on the losing side, it doesn't matter if you voted for it or not, that
This is the law
you
of
lost. That's the way it is. And the thing is that I've also heard people say, oh, well, Elon Musk, I didn't vote for him. Well, it doesn't matter, because you were on the losing side of the voting.
And we all knew Trump was going to have Elon in helping him.
But not only that, when Biden was in office, he got to appoint anyone he wanted to be in charge of any of those things, just like Trump can appoint Elon.
Yeah.
So that whole argument is ridiculous. And if you're falling for it, you need to pause for a minute and think, wait, if I was not from around here and I hadn't been listening to all this media that's just constantly bombarding me with stuff, and I came from some other country, what would I think about this? And I think you would think a lot differently. Like when I was in other countries, people over there were terrified the first time President Trump got in because they heard all this bad stuff on the news. But the thing is, when they actually realize what's going on, suddenly they're not terrified. It's just that people are believing a bunch of lies.
So what does this have to do?
Not only are they believing lies, but this U.S. aid agency, holy moly, people should go to jail for a very long time for that. You talk about insurrection, you talk about, I forgot what the other words are. Basically, when an aid company or an aid agency that is paid for by U.S. tax dollars takes their money and pays terrorists in Hezbollah and Lebanon, that is not only illegal, it's highly immoral, and it's a breach of national security. Like, we're actually paying our enemies to try to kill us. If they have...
But people don't want to believe that.
They're paying the media to say... they're paying the media to say good things about them with tax dollars from people that don't agree. How would you feel if you don't agree with Trump? How would you feel if tax dollars that you had were being used to pay people to fill you with propaganda, because that's what the rest of us in America have been feeling for a very long time.
I'm putting up with.
Yeah.
So what does this have to do with stockpiling? This is really getting out of hand. And I am 100% backing President Trump. I will be there if I need to help him. But you need to prepare for your family first. You need to stockpile, have at least a month's worth of food. You never know when these crazy people are going to be blocking roads. They're blocking roads in Los Angeles right now because people who are waving Mexican flags don't agree. If you don't like it, go back to Mexico.
Well, but the problem is,
go back to India, wherever you're living.
The people that are doing it are not Mexican people.
Well, then they need to just go.
Like,
if they like that country so much, they need to go there.
The people that have come here and immigrated here legally are not for drug dealers and
they're not.
Child traffickers and all that coming across the country. And when you say that they are, you're insulting them for that.
For sure.
And it's true that some people come over illegally because basically the government has been telling them to do it when they actually just want to help their families. It's true. But those people, it is true that those people are being told now you can't come unless you come legally. And why not? It's a crime to come over illegally. But for people who have come over, they're not just going to throw them out. But the people that are waving the flags and stuff, a lot of those are just elitist white people. They went to colleges and got too much education and listened to a bunch of media about stuff, and they can't figure out how to operate in a daily life because there are too many PhDs get in the way of them actually figuring out how to have the slightest amount of common sense. And those people are the ones that are waving flags from all these other countries and advocating for all kinds of things like that.
So you need to prepare for your family. This is what I'm saying. You have to be prepared for your family. Who knows what could happen? I mean, any crazy thing could happen between now and then. I think every day it's almost hour to hour. What's the next crazy thing that's going to be happening? So get yourself prepared, get stocked up, get some of these things. I personally wouldn't wait until March 1st. I would get what you can right now. Am I afraid and worried about it? No. Am I angry that all these people are creating all this chaos when we're trying to clean up the government? Yes.
But there's something that I would say on that too. That is a complete optical illusion.
Yeah.
I was a TV producer for a lot of years, and it's not all these people. It's a small number of people where the camera is zoomed in on a very small section of space to make it look like a lot of people, and it's not. Those people are pretty much irrelevant. And I think that
they're just making the biggest noise.
This is probably going to come out to not be that serious in the end. But it is good to be prepared in case it does. I mean, look, in 2020, they were just letting people go crazy, like setting police stations on fire and assaulting people in the streets. And I'm sorry, if you're one of those people that's in one of those groups and you wear a mask when you're out there, you're a complete weenie, a complete chicken. Like, if you seriously mean it and you're going to go out and bludgeon people and throw firebombs at them, you should at least let them see who you are. Because if they can't see who you are, you're just a crying little baby waiting for someone to come after you. So anyway, those are not the majority of people, even though it looks like it. And the media is complicit in trying to make it look that way too. So don't be afraid and don't be, fooled on that. And probably this will all work out fine, but there are a lot of things that will probably work out fine, but you'd be kind of ill-advised not to prepare for. The hurricane might not come to your town, but there's a hurricane. So maybe you should prepare for that. In the same way, this will probably turn out fine. And it'll probably turn out in a way that the majority of Americans are much happier with it. But they will make it look like they're not, because a small group of people will get a lot of airtime. And nevertheless, even though it will probably turn out fine in that way, it is good to be prepared because, again, look at 2020. All these people got roped into this stuff that they were just being idiots because they were told a sad story that wasn't really true.
Yeah.
So
go watch this video next on how you can prepare even more. Visit us livingonadime.com.